Welcome everybody in YouTube land and in the ERA group. This is episode 5 of the ERA Weekly podcast. I am joined today or tonight, whichever, I don't even know what time it is. Yeah, 11 o'clock, by Jonathan Christopher,
But
Maddie D,
What's going on?
old Toby Weatherford,
Yo, what up?
and old Ronnie Head.
Good evening.
What's up, boys? So yeah, we're a little late on this. I know we was gonna do this Monday night, but the real Daytona kind of got in the way, and Ryan Newman stuff happened. So I believe, as I was reading, that Newman is okay and he's awake and alert. So I guess that's a good thing. And he was sitting and hasn't been able to walk yet, so that's a good sign. Scary crash. Any of you guys that watched the 500, was you able to check it out, and how'd you feel about it?
I thought the race was pretty good for the most part, but nobody's really going to think about that anymore now because of how it ended. But it's good to see that he's doing better because that looked terrible. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
he's
pretty
lucky.
hard lick.
He's very lucky to be alive. So
Yeah.
we're happy for that.
I was getting the Earnhardt vibes, man.
Yep.
Well,
Whenever
I think if they didn't move the seat the way they did, it would have been worse. The seats it's towards the center of the car, and if it was closer to the door like they used to be,
Yeah.
it would have been worse.
Yeah. But so we kind of got a little tied up with that because everybody was so worried about Newman, and I believe it took them till like 11 o'clock to even like say something, or 8, something around there.
Yeah, it was about 7:30.
Yeah. But we had our big Daytona week, as we had the Cup Xfinity, and as of recording, K&N just wrapped up about an hour ago. So it's finally over, and then next week the real season starts. I guess let me drag my standings here as we're gonna get to the first one. The Cup Series had their Daytona 500, 100 laps. It was a very eventful evening, to say the least. 27 cars started. I believe 14 of us finished on the lead lap, with Levi Zelensky pulling the win out in a tri-oval massacre. So I guess we'll go down the list. I'll see the first one. It looks like Ronnie Head, you finished 4th. How did your race go that evening?
Well, I decided I was going to play it safe and was lifeguarding in the back of the pack for. I feel like it's probably close to the first half of the race because in my opinion, there wasn't any reason to even be anywhere near the front because I'm very fond of most everybody in the league, but I don't trust them at the plate track not to have a massive crash. So I was trying to avoid all of that and did for the most part up until I'd say lap 50 or whatever, and I got ran all over the back end of poor Todd, but rebounded and was just in the right place at the right time to finish 4th with the car down on horsepower. So I was more than happy with 4th place for sure.
Yep, definitely perfect start to the season as you strive to defend your title.
We'll see how that goes, but
Yeah.
surviving and getting the top 5 at Daytona is just about like winning anywhere else. So I'm more than happy with it.
Yep. Go down the list here. I think the next finisher we got is, this is when it gets bad. Is old Matty D. You finished ahead of me in 17th.
Oh.
So how did your evening go, there, buddy?
Well, first half of the race went pretty well. Worked with my teammates. We had control of the front 2 lanes for a good portion of the race, and just caught a couple bad bumps in the tri-oval. Got a teammate sideways and got collected with it, and it was just all downhill from there.
Yeah, definitely.
To say the least.
Yeah, definitely sucked.
Trying to catch up, had a chance at a pass by or a wave around, and never got it. Fighting for lucky dogs. Bad luck.
Yeah, I mean it happens at Daytona, but like a wise man once said, the real season starts next week, so we got that coming.
Vegas.
I guess, yeah. I finished behind you. I finished in 18th. I believe I got a black flag that ended my day, and plus I got involved in a big wrecker. I believe it was a big wreck. Might have been the cup race. Yeah, it was. It was in the cup race with. I believe it was Jim Courtney blew up right at the line, and we had a massacre. Other than that, that pretty much ended my evening, and I guess whose evening went worse than any of us in the entire field here is Jonathan Christopher, who finished 21st. How did your evening wind up, old Jonathan?
The first half was okay, I think. I just bided my time, riding around. No reason to race the first half, and then I got wrecked and spent the remainder of the race on pit road. I spotted Ferrani the rest of the race.
Darn good spotter if you're looking
Yeah.
for spotter work goes.
Yeah, I mean it sucked though that you're 25th now, sitting about 25th in the points, so it should go all uphill from there. Again, like I've been preaching today, as of we finished the K&N race, it's a marathon, not a sprint. There's 35 more of these things. You gotta take it one at a time. I mean, you sure can lose it in those first 5 races though, but that's the starting point. You got to get those first 5 races and finish strong to really have a shot at it down the line. But pretty good race here. We had 105 laps completed. We did have a green-white checker there at the end. 8 cautions for 33 laps with 30 lead changes. I think that was the most out of all the races.
I think most of them were between Clarence and Justin.
Yeah, Clarence, Justin.
38
and,
laps led for Clarence and Justin with 21.
Yeah, the lap leaders here, we had Clarence Bonner. He led 38, led the most, I believe. Justin Brown led 21. Dan Iameti.
I had just enough to get me 5 bonus points.
Finished, he had 11. Yeah, Matty, you led 1. Artie Peterson led 5. Dingman led 8. I believe I led 4.
Says you got 4, Brian.
Yeah, it was and Levi led 8. And Grant Brown led 3. Rhett Nichols led 4. A lot of guys led laps. I mean, it was a very competitive race, but it was just getting there to the end, and even getting there to the end wasn't even a guarantee. As I guess we gotta bring up the elephant in the room. This has been a sore subject. We'll wrap this up before we go to the top 10 here, but
been a nightmare for the week.
It has, but I guess I'll be putting this to bed. Levi did win that race. I know it sucks that we had, I guess you could say, photo evidence of Brown crossing, like hitting the line first, but I believe the way iRacing calls it is the most research I've done. As I think iRacing calls whoever crosses that line fully first wins, which Levi did do. Levi beat him across the line, which I don't know if that's a scoring thing for iRacing, which, whatever, but, if we don't clear black flags, if we don't throw out user cautions, then, we have to let iRacing call the finish. It sucks, but if we never had that wreck going into the tri-oval, we'd never be speaking about that into the group, and guys wouldn't be so irritated about it, but I mean,
that doesn't. Sorry, but
No, go
doesn't iRacing score the nose of the car, not the tail?
see, I've heard that one too, and I've also heard there's been so
if,
many.
If they scored it by the nose and not the tail, Clarence's nose goes across the line before Brown's does, so he would be scored second, not third.
And another thing, it could be also when Brown was sideways, like when they wreck. Sometimes when you're sideways going backwards, sometimes it doesn't score you, so that could have been that too. I mean, I don't know. Like it's a weird situation that I've never been in. Like,
I mean, it is tough because it all happened right at the line.
Yeah. It's just people going for a lot. It's just, but I mean, the only thing that just makes perfect sense to me is it just counted who crossed the line fully, and that was Levi, followed by Brown. But again, marathon, not a sprint. This race is going to be completely meaningless a month or two from now. So, closing thoughts on this race, other than
Give it
Other
like
than that?
a 6.5.
it was a solid 7, even though my race got ended.
I'd
I'll
say
give it
about-
a 5.
Yeah, you're.
I'd say 7. It was about like the race on Monday. Relatively good race, but marred by the finish.
Yeah. Other than that, top 10 here, we got Levi Zielinski with the win. I believe he started 23rd. Justin Brown finished in 2nd, started 11th. Clarence Bonner finished in 3rd, started 5th. Ronnie Heads finished 4th, started 22nd. Grant Brown started 24th, finished 5th. Rhett Nichols, oh shit. started 6th, finished 6th, and his class position was 6th.
Boy, Nichols.
Rusty Capel finished in 7th. He started 4th. Mike Donahue, who was very quiet all night, started 26th, finished 8th. James Panko finished 9th, started 18th. And Kerry Hadley rounding out your top 10 with a 17th, or he started 17th and finished 10th. So, good job to all you guys that got in the top 10 in that race. That was a perfect start for you guys, and we'll be on the Vegas for next week's race. All right, that one is done. And we had the debut of the Xfinity Series, ran by Mr. Jonathan Christopher there. So I'll start with you. So how did you enjoy the race as running it and the turnout and all that stuff? How'd you feel about it there, Jonathan?
The turnout wasn't bad. To be honest with you, I don't remember too many spectacles throughout the entire race, but it was an overall good race.
It actually was. I literally think it was the we'll get to it here. I think it's the best race that we had all week.
Yeah,
As far as series
only
wise.
2 cautions.
Yep, 2 cautions. We had
22 lead changes.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was very solid. I guess we'll break down the list and see who. Maddie, you got a top 5 out of this
Yeah, I got
one.
top 5. Only one of the week.
Yeah, join the club. Yeah, how'd it go? You started 18th. It looks like led about
just-
3 laps.
They stayed back and just kept her running, kept her safe. Sucks I
Yeah.
finished, 16 seconds back, but nothing you can do about that.
Right.
That was it. No, that was a incident coming out of turn 2 on the last lap. That's what that was. That's what that was.
Let's see here, Ronnie. You finished. Well, you have all 7s on your board. You finished 7th, started 7th, and your class position was 7th. So you didn't lead any laps, but very quiet evening with the top 10. How'd that go?
The race went really well. We tried a little strategy thing there at the end, and unfortunately, it didn't work out. And then I was right there with Maddie, not too far from the leaders, if I remember correctly. I feel
think
like
we
I feel like we
were
closer than-
close.
I'm looking at the
'Cause
intervals, and I feel like because we had
We
the
had
wrecks.
a run.
We had
we had
the
a
wreck
run on
right
them.
there. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Because Ryan got around, and me being silly, I thought he was going to come across the track. He was probably, I wouldn't say halfway from between the white line and the wall, but he was close. And I figured he was going to, if the car was going to duck low below the white line. So I went high and came across Alex's nose. And then that turned me, and that was all she wrote. I only lost, I think I lost 3 positions right there because I think I was in 4th and Maddie was in 5th when that happened.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
I
something
know.
like
I know
that.
that was a little close.
And then took a little bit to get it gathered up and nursed it home because I think that was that the last lap or was that
Yeah,
the
that was the last.
That
lap.
was a couple laps ago because I was the lap car that was trying to get the hell out of the way. That got
right.
took
It
out.
was a couple laps to go and we didn't get the caution for it, and I
Yeah.
had to nurse it home for 2 laps, but I made it and I beat John. He was he was coming, Mister. I led 50 laps and didn't have much to show for it, just because of how stuff worked out for him. So I'll take a top 10 at a plate track for sure.
Yeah.
Would like to finish better, but can't do anything about it.
I think next out of the whole group we had Jonathan Christopher finished 11th, started 10th. You know, kind of finished the lap down. So yeah, how'd that turn out for you, Jonathan? Was this the race you got a black flag in? I can't remember if this was it that put you a lap down.
I don't remember. To be honest with you.
It was.
I know 3 of y'all had black flags.
Yeah, I had a black flag there. I think we all did. I think me, you, Rhett, and Deekman all had black flags.
You did.
Yep, for going below the yellow before the pace car went by you.
Yep.
Guys, if you're gonna stop on the track, you gotta stay above the line.
Yeah, that's something that we need to preach all the way around. But yeah, I guess I'm next. I was actually doing sub work for Adam Musso in the 6. Finished 12th. Black flag screwed me, and I wound up getting into that wreck. I was trying to get out of the way, and I seen Chiro try to move up, and you know, Nick was there, and that's pretty much
what?
next.
Out of that whole thing, Deekman was still in the lead lap.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they were holding their ground, and I was going to try to get out of the way because I didn't think you guys was going to catch us that quick, but it happens. Believe
Part of it.
Yep, believe we don't have anybody else in here that raced. But Sean McDonald pulled out the win. He led 3 laps, started 9th, and to win the first ever Xfinity Series race. Nick Boyd finished 2nd, started 11th. Jim Courtney finished 3rd, started 13th. Matty D, you finished 4th, started 18th. Ryan Shiro started 2nd, finished 5th. 6th went to Alex Boyd. He started 5th. He had a pretty solid run. Ronnie, again, started 7th, finished 7th, so not much of a change there. Jay Wall, like you said, led 50 laps, nothing to show for it. Finished 8th, started on the pole. John Deekman finishing 9th, started 8th. And then Craig Ream finished 10th, started 4th. And that rounds out your Xfinity top 10. The Xfinity will be at, I believe, Vegas this week. Tomorrow, as of we're recording this. So yeah, good start to the Xfinity series.
Yes, we'll be at Vegas tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. Whew, and now we get to the good one. Not really. The K&N race that we just finished about, we'll say, an hour ago. Jim Courtney pulled out the win. 50-lap race, 5 cautions, 19 caution laps, 10 league changes. It was a rough one for the Xfinity guys. I think this might have been out of the Daytona race. K&N. Sorry, K&N. I think out of all the races, this was probably the worst one out of them all.
The only one Toby attended.
Yeah, the only one Toby attended. I know he's going to feel lonely, but we're going to get to him here in a minute. Let's get to our first guy. Ronnie, you pulled out the top 5 after starting 24th.
Yeah, that was a strange race. I thought my plan was to do the same thing, sort of lifeguard in the back and just survive up until some of the guys lost their fast repairs and just go from there. But we had that first caution within I think it was lap 5 or 6. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I stayed out and was gonna see if I couldn't lead a lap. And the first, I think, 8 guys, they decided to stay out too. So I was gonna duck in a pit, but the fellas closed pit road on me, so I wound up like 8th or whatever, and I didn't really leave that spot the rest of the race. So I wasn't really where I wanted to be, but judging by what happened throughout the race, it might not have been the worst place to be, personally. So just sort of hung around, was able to work with our teammate Joel there at the end. Got close to winning, but credit to Sean and Jim. Those Canadians sure are fast. So good job for both of them pulling out a win this week. But overall, I thought it was I'd give it a 5. It had its moments. It could have been a great race, but there was just not enough give and too much take, I'm afraid. So
You're right.
on to Vegas.
Yep, on the Vegas. 33 cars started the race. By the way, it was probably the biggest field we had
It was.
out of all 3 series, but yeah, definitely, it was definitely an eventful one. 8th place, he started 33rd, literally made it into the race, I believe, with 30 seconds to go before we gridded up.
Yeah, it was
Mr.
about
Toby.
Yeah, about 35
Yeah,
seconds.
Mr. Toby Weatherford pulling out 8th. So how did it go, Toby?
Well, traffic sucked trying to get home, and then running up the driveway and the stairs to get to the computer in time. That was the most exciting part.
So were you the guy I saw parachuting on the pit road?
Don't tell anyone my secrets, okay?
I
So basically, I'm starting last, just wanted to stay clean, and got up to the front at one point, and then we had another accident, and then I just hung out in the middle of the pack the rest of the race, pretty much.
Yep, pulled out a strong run, your only run of the week. Hopefully we'll get you there Thursday to get to Vegas. But yeah, I mean, go ahead.
I think work schedule's looking good for this week.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you picked up the most spots, and somehow or another we found somewhere at the end. I guess I can go ahead and get into mine since I finished behind you. But yeah, it was eventful. I started 7th. I think I pitted to stay in the back to try to pull the old lifeguard thing, and oh boy, I mean, some of these guys gotta pay attention. There was one, I don't know what the hell happened. I haven't looked back at the video, but I believe everybody pitted with 1 to go.
Yeah, that was I want to say that was relatively early in the race.
Yeah, it was, and we all got split off and group. We was in 3 groups.
Yeah.
And we was catching group 2. I was in group 3 because people were just so scared to try to pass, and there was guys that was broke.
I got I bounced off the wall, but I was in pack 2 after I came off pit road, and then when I hit the wall, I fell back to your pack, and we were catching them pretty.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It was strange, and
yeah,
I got in that big wreck on lap. I want to say 38, 39 or something. Got 20. Yeah, I had 24 seconds optional that I got fixed, and was able to somehow go from 16th all the way to 9th, get behind Toby. I think I actually literally lifted Toby off the ground, hitting him so hard to get him by. I don't remember if that was you or somebody else, but I gave you a shot, and then I kind of let off, and we just got through it. And my first top 10 out of the entire speed weeks, and I didn't get a fucking dumb black flag, so story of my race. Anyway, next down the list. Go further down the list.
Keep going.
Matty D, who finished 26th.
Somebody before me.
Jonathan Christopher, who finished 25th, 3 laps back, started 16th. How'd your event go today?
Well, what did you just say?
Well, it went terrible. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think I qualified 15th.
16th.
Yeah, 16th. It says 16th.
16th. Everything was going good until the first caution came out. Got taken out under caution. Had to use my fast repair, and then downhill after that.
Yeah. I think this one you got 2 black flags in. I think this was it.
Yeah, and every time I looked up, I had a black flag. So that didn't help.
Yeah, it sucks.
Oh well.
Yep, there's always next week. And now we get to the final one. Matty Clark. Matty D.
Boy.
Started 5th, finished 26th.
Had a great car. Great car. About lap 9 had a Dono-esque type deal. One Rhett pushed him down the backstretch, and I think got a run on somebody, and checked up a little bit and high and back up and I was in the catch fence. It was terrible. Ended up
Yeah.
going 2 laps down and never recovered. Had a chance. I think it was that next caution. Had a chance to get a lap back, wave around and back off pit road.
Yeah, it was definitely definitely rough.
I think Rusty got it.
Yeah.
I just late.
Well, there's always next week again. They'll be at Vegas next week. Overall, race wise, 16 cars finished on the lead lap. Again, Jim Courtney pulling out the win. The Rum Runners team won the Xfinity and the K&N race. So good on
If
them.
I'm seeing this correct, they finished 3 in K&N and they finished
Yeah.
in
Yeah, you're lagging a little bit, Matty. But yeah,
getting late
no,
here.
you're right. You know, one first and third. They did. They swapped. Jim Courtney led 6 laps. Dan Ahmedi led 12 and finished second after starting second. Sean McDonald finished third. Started on the pole for this event. Led 27 laps. He led the most. Fourth goes to Joe Rogue. Started 19th. Finished 5th. He was a surprise. I will say that. Followed by Ronnie Head. Didn't lead any laps. Started 24th. Brendan Parker finished 6th. Started 27th. Jeff Spooner started 18th. Finished 7th. Toby Weatherford finished 8th. Started 33rd. Myself, Brian Wright, finished 9th. Started 7th. And Tyler Davis started 31st and finished 10th to round out your top 10 for that entire race. I just hope it gets better. I hope it goes. That was probably the worst Daytona race that we've had out of the K&N since the inception about a year ago. This makes the third one. Hopefully it goes uphill. Other than that, I mean,
Yeah, you can't. Excuse me.
Go.
You can't judge your seasons by the plate track in the beginning.
No, you can't. Hopefully, again, like I said, hopefully it goes uphill from there. But let's do the thoughts for the week of, well, Daytona week for ERA as a whole. I mean, I guess I'll start off with, I guess having one decent run out of all 3 of them ain't bad. I mean, that's just a good. I mean, I wish my Cup one was better because I'm really wanting to try to have a good Cup season. And K&N, I'm just, I've finished second both years in a row, so it's rough, and hopefully it gets better from this point on. Let's go to you, Jonathan. Your week in a wrap up.
Abysmal.
You're tired. You're probably tired of seeing a black flag, huh?
Yeah, for sure. I don't see another one for the rest of the season. Till we get to the next plate track, I'll be fine.
Matty D, how sum up your Daytona, ERA week?
It's actually my first speed week, so overall, I think it went good. I could be a little better. I mean, I'm sure get better over the course, and gets a little better by the next time we get around to Daytona and Talladega.
Yeah, that'll definitely be interesting to see. Ronnie, sum up your speed weeks.
I'd say consistent. It was easily the most consistent speed week I've had in a very long time. Had a 4th, a 5th, and a 7th. You can't ask for better than that, except for maybe a win, in my opinion. Because if you could finish the top 10 in all 3 races at this place, you got lucky 3 times, and hopefully your luck doesn't run out at the tracks that really matter. So I'm happy we did as well as we did, but I'm not going to be sad to see Daytona in the rear view for at least a couple more months.
Yeah. Amen. And Toby, you probably had the shortest speed weeks out of us all, but sum it up.
Crashes, lots of crashes.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think the like I said, the Xfinity race was the cleanest one out of them all. I mean, Cup had 8 cautions, Xfinity had 2, and Kanan had 5. But yeah, I guess we can close out by going through the Vegas race. It's Vegas weekend for all 3 leagues, and I don't know how many of you guys have ran official for the Cup cars or anything. Anybody ran Xfinity?
I'm currently doing that right now, and the car is loose.
I ran
There's-
a few laps earlier this afternoon. It's really loose on the first lap, but after that it settles in.
So loose.
The trucks are pretty good. It gets a little tight in the middle part, and then loosens back up
Yeah.
near the end of the run. A lot of fun.
Yep. I've ran about, I want to say 3 Cup races and finished very poorly in every one of them.
Love
It's-
the candidness.
I mean, I did. Like, I think my best finish was like a 16th or a 15th or an 18th, something around there. It's pretty much for 20 laps. It was pretty much a plate race, and then depending on how you took care of the car, once the laps clicked in after the 20 lap mark, it was pretty much who saved their tires the best. I know the first race I actually blew a tire on lap 48 of 50, so I was going way too hard. And yeah, it happened. Hard to pass. Track position is going to be key, especially during the late stages of the race. Maybe for all 3. I mean, I know we had our preseason Xfinity or K&N race there, and it was a little racy, but nothing too bad. But definitely going to be hard to pass.
Yeah,
Track
even
position's
K&N
gonna
was
be
hard
key.
to pass last
Yeah.
week or the week before, or whatever.
Track position is going to be key. Do we got anything else we need to go through, or anything anybody wants to bring up overall before we get out of here?
I can't think of anything.
Nah, I don't have anything either.
Looking
I'm
forward to
drawing a
going to a
blank.
track. Looking forward to going to a track where we can race instead of depending on the draft.
Yes.
Looking forward to that a lot.
Yeah. Even after dealing with it with iRacing, with the our Daytona 500s and stuff that people ran, yeah.
Well, that is loose.
I'm done with the Daytona for a while, so yeah. Well, I guess I appreciate all you guys for joining us tonight. Hopefully next week we'll try to get on a better schedule, and I'll be able to get this stuff recorded and done a lot better. And yeah, guys, thank you all for listening, and we will see you on the track at Vegas.